welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with two of the boys of Boy and Soy on this post-credits segment. Post-credits is the segment where we go through... What? We swear there's still with the group, guys. But Jalen and Jared are both indisposed right now, so they are not going to be available for this segment. So me and Keoni are going to hit it. It's going to be a short one. We always say it, and I think this one... I think we'll be a man of our word this time. No, we just go on a tangent for an hour. But yes, this is post credits where we talk about movies, TV, entertainment, and all the good stuff that surrounds it. With me, as always, is Keoni McKeague. That's it. Just Keoni McKeague.
Right on.
We're gonna go through a few things that drop.
As always. Is Keoni McKeague.
Keoni McKeague, and that's it.
That was a weird transition.
We'll just put up Jalen and Jared's face and just
right there.
We'll pick the most unflattering pictures of them. How dare they have work? How dare they?
Damn right.
But we're gonna go through a few things today. We're gonna hit some quick little note that I just saw today that I was gonna get Keoni's thoughts on. We're also gonna go into the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action stills that they had released. I believe it was at the Netflix conference or presentation, which I think is actually a genius name, considering when you open Netflix, what's the first noise you hear?
Right? I was like, ta-dam.
Ta-dam. Also at that presentation, they released the anime One Piece's live action trailer that will be coming to the platform. I don't remember exactly the release date, but we have some thoughts on it. I am one who has seen the actual anime. Keoni has seen bits and pieces. We have an old friend, Shalimar, who is a religious watcher. I don't know if he's still watching it at this moment, but he's definitely further than I am, because I gave up at some point, because it's one of the longest ones running.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we're also going to go into Sony's Kraven the Hunter starring Aaron Taylor Johnson that released for a trailer release, and that'll be it. So hopefully we can get this short and sweet, nip it in the bud, and we're good to go. But the first bit of news that I wanted to ask you, Keoni, about is recently there was an announcement that Linda Hamilton is going to be joining season 5 of Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? You know, she kind of keeps to herself since the 90s, I would say. Not really a part of a lot of productions, but she is a badass woman. And do you think this is going to be kind of in a dope role, or is she going to be a villain? Is she going to be someone related to someone? Is she going to bring upon the Skynet? I don't know.
I was going to say, I hadn't even thought about the whole villain aspect of it. It's funny because I was like, I really don't know what other movies she's been in. I can be real honest. Terminator was about it for me. I was like, maybe she had a fantastic career outside of that, but I really don't know. I don't think I've seen her in anything else. If I have, I mean, it's slipping in my mind right now. So, I mean, it would be weird.
You don't remember the thing with the thing?
The Linda Hamilton show.
What do you think the musical Hamilton is based off of, Keoni?
Nope, not going there. It's the complete opposite person. Anyway, yeah, but I mean, it'll be weird to see if she's anything but kind of like a badass, military esque character. I personally think that she could do some emotional stuff. I mean, we've seen it in the movies before. I mean, the sacrificial moments and stuff like that in the Terminator series, and she's had some emotional beats, but she's a little older. The last Terminator wasn't so great with her in it. Not her fault, just saying in general, it was a horrible movie. So I mean, it is cool. I mean, they definitely are pulling all the nostalgia stops with the show. It seems like, I mean, you're just getting another relevant 80s actress, 90s actress, whatever, and throwing them in the show. It would actually be kind of funny if she plays herself in some sort of way, because technically that's that. Are they
Like
in
plays
that
herself
era?
as Linda Hamilton, or
Yeah, I don't know, something. I don't know. That's
I'm
why I'm
Linda
like,
Hamilton.
it'd be more weird if she's like a time traveling like Terminator type of deal. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm whatever on it, but it is a great show. So I mean, if they write her well and she, they clearly wanted her for something. So
She's gonna be Eleven's grandma. I don't know. I just guessed it. But we'll
I
find
mean,
out, because I'm very
yeah,
excited for season 5, because that season 4 was a banger and pop culture, bringing back 80s songs and making it relevant again, right?
yep. Oh
Um,
gosh, yeah. Let's not have that happen again.
I feel like children that were not even a thought yet were starting to play that song, and I was
Oh yeah. I don't think they realized that it was an old song.
I don't
I'm
think they
pretty
did either,
sure.
because I was going to go
Yeah.
coach one of these, like one of the practices, and they just, while they were setting up the net, started singing it. I was like, your parents might not even been together at this point.
I don't even know that song.
I don't either until the show.
No, I'm saying exactly.
Not saying anything bad about Kate Bush. I just don't know. Anyways,
had no idea who she was.
the next
Gonna be
thing
real
that we're going to
honest.
cover today, after the disastrous movie that was The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan, live action stills for the Netflix series that's going to be coming out for the show have come out for the main 4 characters, for Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Zuko. Did you get a chance to take a look at those?
I did, and I also did see that little stupid teaser that wasn't really
Yeah, it was just
anything. The name, yeah, I was like, why even bring that up if you're gonna have the stills?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Now,
Yeah.
did you watch the cartoon in its entirety?
No, not in its entirety. I did watch the cartoon, but not. Yeah, I was like, I jumped on that train pretty late,
Mm-hmm.
but I did watch it, just not the full deal. So yeah,
I watched, I want to say season 1, and then like bits and pieces whenever Nicole watches it.
that
It was
sounds
one of
about
those things
right.
that she just kind of
Hmm.
watches the rerun, not rerun,
I
but
do remember
rewatches it.
Shalimar watching it a lot too. So moments like that, I'll catch an episode here and there. But I think I watched like a full season after it was already like super hyped up. So
Mm-hmm.
just to like give it a watch.
So just based off of what your knowledge is, do you think that these are? I mean, it's just looking at stills. We need to see them
Yeah,
act and interact together.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but do you think that this looks a little, at least more promising than what the last
I
live
mean, you
action
could get
was?
worse than that.
What?
No, I mean, it's funny because I, I think it came out kind of at not necessarily at a yeah, I guess like it's kind of the start of the whole you know um, whitewashing movement. I guess is like the
What?
best way to put it. Yeah. So it was like the very beginning of that. I feel like because then you had the Dragon Ball Evolution movie, and obviously they're doing their due diligence in trying to find like people who look the part, and I think that's fantastic. They do look pretty on point thus far. I mean, most of them. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to capture the magic, I think, of the animated show. I mean, it's always hard to kind of translate that kind of thing. If you do it well, fantastic, but still there's going to be stands who don't like it, and then if you don't do well, obviously the stands come out and it's even worse. um, so yeah, I mean, they're headed in the right direction, I'll put it that way. I mean, as long as they don't mess up the story or try to make some weird mythology that's different from the actual
Mm-hmm.
show, I think they'll do fine. And honestly, I think even when we saw the castings initially, we all were like, oh yeah, I mean, they match
That
what
looks
we
like them.
yeah. It's like I don't want to make it like racial, but it's like, I mean, they do look
They,
of the persuasion.
I mean, all fairness, Avatar was an American-made cartoon in the
Yeah.
style of an anime,
Hmm.
so I don't necessarily think that they're.
I think it's the names. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's always
yeah,
the names.
yeah,
Like that's what I feel like. That's where America messes up a lot. Is like,
yeah. And I
you gotta
mean,
make a show. You could just name him
the
Carl. You know, you
I
don't have
don't
to
I
name
don't
him.
know his cultural background, but the guy who's playing, the kid who's playing Aang, his name is Gordon Cormier. So maybe he's mixed, but it is what it is.
What were you expecting, Nolan Nakagawa? Like,
with the name Aang.
that's what I'm saying. That's the names. They messed up by making the name the
Yeah,
name. Like
yeah.
you could easily, like I said, it could have just been Carl, the Avatar. Like I don't know. Like
Kyle, you're the
Kyle.
last Airbender, bro.
No,
Kyle.
that guy's not saving anybody. But yeah, I don't know. I
He's
mean,
the guy that yells, "My cabbages!"
do you like it? I mean, I gotta imagine you're on board so far. What you've seen, or is there
I
anything
mean,
that you
I
stuck out to
have
you
no real
negatively?
predisposition with the cartoon
Yeah.
itself. It was
Mm-hmm.
never something where I would go out of my way to watch it. I just honestly, I really didn't watch one single episode until I started living with Nicole, and then she just kind of
Mm-hmm.
started rewatching it. So that was really the only taste I got of it. It's a
Yeah.
great little show. I think definitely geared.
Shit little show.
I was gonna
It's a
say
great
great
shit little
show,
show.
but
I
I
was
was gonna
just
say
like,
great little show, great
yeah, I
shit.
got you.
But
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, I mean, the only thing that's holding it back, though, it looks great. You just got to act great, right? And
yeah.
Netflix, if this is going to be a show that they're running long time for it, they have some repertoire in making quality shows, and
That they
I
do.
have no doubt that this one's going to get the same amount of viewership
What do you
as the
think the
original.
percentages on Netflix like? More good, more bad,
In
like
comparison to,
just shows. Like if you
gosh,
really look at like shows that you've seen, like more good, more bad. Where are you at with them?
it's difficult. I would say that when their shows hit, they sing, but when they don't, no one says anything about them. So it's like
That's a
you
fantastic way to put it.
you
Yeah.
can't really figure out if they make a lot of great shows because you have something like
Hmm.
HBO that just banger after banger.
Yeah. Or sometimes they make a great show and then it gets canceled, which is just as bad. Like,
Yeah, and I think a lot of the time it was that licensing fee stuff where they just bought other people's shows for a good minute
yeah,
and
yeah.
pain. But needless to say, I'm excited. I believe this is releasing in 2024. I don't think they
Hmm.
have a concrete date yet, just they given the year. So everyone be on the lookout. They released the trailer, not trailer, the teaser of just kind of the land emblems of
Why
air,
even
earth,
bring that up?
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, go see it if you want to not get excited, but excited. I don't
Yeah, I was just gonna
know.
say, I was like, it was the most
Anyway,
like, yeah.
moving on. The next thing that we are going to dive into is the One Piece live action trailer. And if you're not familiar with the name One Piece, it is an anime kind of revolving around, or definitely revolving around pirates. That's kind of obviously it's a different universe than just like old time piratey stuff.
Hmm.
It's its own anime kind of vibe to it. It has like the Marine Corps fighting against them and against certain pirates fighting against each other. And the main thing with it is that there are these forbidden fruits that if you take a bite of, you gain a power. Do you know what power it is? Not necessarily, but you're gonna get powers. So the main guy, Luffy, who is this kind of awkward teenager, I would say teenager, which
Hmm.
comes through in the trailer. He does kind of seem like a weird,
Gotcha.
happy-go-lucky. So I
See,
think,
Luffy sounds like it matches the guy that
yeah,
they
no, it
picked.
does, and I think that it is a little jarring seeing it
Is
in
that
live
racist?
action. Hmm?
Ah! I
It's
was
a
like, is
little.
that racist? And I said, it's like that Luffy sounds like what the guy's name would be.
His full name is Monkey D. Luffy.
Gotcha. So somebody worked really hard on those names. Gotcha.
There's
Gotcha.
a lot
Gotcha.
of them. Like the main
Great,
guy
great.
with three swords, his name is Zoro.
Gorilla Deep. Oh, okay. Zoro.
Yes.
Monkey D. Luffy and Zoro.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Um,
All right.
this one's going to be interesting to see because a lot of stuff from anime is very exaggerated, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's like the kiddishness as well as the emotional beats. There's a lot of things that it hits in people in different ways, and I don't know if it's gonna happen in the live action. So far, the characters that I've seen, I have no qualms with how they look. But I wanted to get your take. I know you said you've seen a couple episodes here and there.
Yeah, this one is way less than Avatar. I'll just
wow!
My
All
disclaimer
right.
there. Yeah.
But
That's
what
my
were your
disclaimer.
thoughts?
But nothing. I mean, it's funny because now that there's a little more context, obviously, I think off pod I was kind of like, I don't get why, but then as I don't know, as I thought about it more, like you're thinking about where these, um, the way that, like I said, I think we had talked about it off pod, where it's like they don't necessarily generate the characters to make them a certain race. It's just more that the style of
Mm-hmm.
animation clearly looks like it's a different kind of race.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I think that goes to say for any anime. And I think now that I'm marinating on it more, it obviously makes a lot more sense why they cast the people that they cast. I think we're on the same boat as Avatar here. Like, I mean, as long as I think they're fine with the castings, just as long as the acting is fine.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's kind of see, this is like a trend that I'm not really because this is Netflix as well, right? Am I
Yes, it is.
mistaken? Okay, so I was like, I think that's like a trend that I'm not necessarily enjoying too much with Netflix. Is they're going after all these kind of big name IPs, and generally they haven't really struck gold on them. Cowboy Bebop, which came out not too
Yeah.
long, yeah, like
Yeah.
that one got really poor reviews. It wasn't that great, which sucks because casting wise, it was pretty great. And then you go to this one, and it's just it's number three of what we're seeing. There's another
Yep.
one that they're popping up. They've done the animated stuff, which I think they nail a lot of times. Like there's been some like I think Jalen show, the Arcane Legends, those on Netflix, like they those came out really well critically. They were well received, but this live action stuff, like I get it. I mean, I know when you have like fantastic stories to tell, in the animated world, sometimes you can be tempted to want to like reboot it and make it like a real live action thing and kind of hit those same exact emotional beats, but I feel like they're oversaturating the market a little bit here. I mean, these both got announced within what, like the same year, maybe a couple of months of each
Probably.
other. Yeah, I mean, it was like the timeline wise, they were very, very close. So I think that's the only thing I'm worried about for both of them. Because if it does flop, it's yet another time when you could have had like a really great property and you didn't really take the time to do it well. And that's one thing with Netflix is they've pumped out a lot of stuff in the last few years, just to kind of like keep up with the whole market of
Yeah.
all these other streaming services popping up. So good for them for having a ton of things. But yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping they can give it enough attention because it does sound like it'd be an interesting show. Honestly, from the episodes I've seen, I had no idea that was even the concept of the show. Like
So for
when you watch
example,
episodes here and there, it's kind of weird to
the
watch.
fruit
Yeah,
that Luffy ate was the gum fruit, which makes
the
his whole body
stretchy
rubber.
thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So and also another thing that's just if whoever eats the fruit can't swim. Like they just like immobilize in the water and so being a pirate,
Pirate. I was about to say that would
yeah,
suck.
everyone is in danger in the water, but apparently closer they are to it, they they don't care.
Got, gotcha.
But I feel like the pros and cons with it because I think One Piece is one of the I think if not the longest running anime because it's still
Mm-hmm.
going today. Whereas the ones that it started with like Naruto and Bleach, all of
Mm-hmm.
those have technically ended.
Mm-hmm.
Um, kind of Bleach, but One Piece has like thousands and maybe more of episodes. The
Mm-hmm.
pros of it are that a lot of the time when you get these anime series, they'll make filler episodes, which is when they're allowing the manga authors to make theirs, and then they don't want to make these shows too quickly and then catch up and then really be stuck in a break.
Mm-hmm.
I think the nice thing with this is that if it does hit and everyone loves it, that they don't really have to hit those filler episodes, and they can just condense the main meat of the series and put it in.
That's a very good point.
The cons of it are just knowing the show, set production and CGI is going to be expensive as shit for this show.
Which has been a big issue for Netflix, thus far.
There's a guy who's made of sand. There's a guy who's made of vapor. There's a guy who, there's just so many.
It's either going to look terrible or they're not going to be able to do it right.
It's either going to be a wonky looking CGI mess, like maybe something in The Flash. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. The one panic I do have with it is because this is a show that I do want to succeed, just knowing the source material.
Is this one you're like fully kept up with, or just like
no shot?
Oh, okay.
I stopped.
I was gonna say, wow, thousands of episodes. That's pretty.
I think I stopped maybe in college, and then it just kept going. I think Shalimar's way further than where I am, but the thing with it is, like, this is a beloved anime, and it could go wrong. It could, and you just get the diehard fans who are just upset with how it looks. But it panicked me because I don't know if, like, someone who doesn't know what anime is in general, if this is gonna attract to them, right? Like, if you're just an average Joe off the street and you say, "Hey, watch this show called One Piece," they're like, "Well, what is one piece of what?" And they're like, "Well, it's a pirate thing." It's like one pirate ship or what? I don't get it. And they just watch it.
It's like, so does everybody get a piece of the pirate ship, or
just one piece?
Just one piece, or
One Piece is considered the treasure that every pirate is looking for, and if you get it, you're considered the king of pirates. Yeah. Which technically should be explained in, like, the opening intro of the show.
For our podcast, I drew a full circle. That was what I did. Just realized it's not on the pod.
But it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna give it a watch just because I at least know what it's from, and I can give it a go and see. Because
I'm sure we're all gonna. You know what I mean?
The reason people get into anime is because, like, more so than I think in a lot of other cartoons, like, the heroes, when, like, they're battling adversity and they come through in the end, and it's all emotional and like, oh, I'm not going to give up on my friends or whatever. It's like that. It hits a little more in anime just because it's so dramatic, and especially because, Japanese voice actors sound way better than English voice actors. So I'm going to see if they can kind of emulate that in the live action, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Are you going to give it a go?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, we watch almost everything that's on there, so, I mean, once it drops.
Imagine you just show Bianca, she's like, oh my god, I love One Piece. What?
No, she actually did watch it before, so she would have more knowledge on the show than I would. So, yeah.
Well, we'll stay tuned. We'll get Bianca on here for her review once it releases.
I was like, watch her hate it. So,
don't say that. I think it's set to release August 31st of this year, so it's coming pretty soon. We can give it a watch at the end of summer.
I will be so hungover.
Oh, you're right. Maybe things will seem better than, I don't know. No? Okay. The next topic that we're going over today is the Kraven the Hunter trailer by Sony Productions. If you guys don't know who Kraven is, he is a villain, and I wish Jalen was here because he could give you a little more background on the character himself. But he is a character in the Spider-Man universe, typically portrayed as a villain, if not always portrayed as a villain, but that I'll leave that a little bit more for Jalen next time we see him on the pod. But Keoni, you have watched the trailer. We know that thus far, Sony Productions is a little hit or miss. They did fantastic with Venom. Venom 2, I would say I enjoyed enough where I wouldn't say it's a loss. Then you got Morbius. What are your thoughts on this? If you've been keeping up on the John Campea show, one of the co-hosts mentions that she has some insider information that says, like, production is a complete mess and there's things going on that are no bueno. What are your thoughts on this? Because it's a rated R flick, finally showing some real tenacity. Was there any highlights, lowlights that you noticed?
Do we wrap the Spider-Man movies into the whole?
Um,
No, those not
if
count
they
for
don't
this.
re-sign with Marvel, they can
Mm-hmm.
technically have Tom Holland hop in, and now he has a gallery of rogues.
Raja. Okay. See, that is the one thing I am so curious to see what the hell they're doing because, yeah, I am. Yeah. Either way, we'll get into that on another episode. But I mean, first of all, Tyler Johnson, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Is it
Taylor.
Taylor Johnson? Okay, gotcha. I always get him and Anya Taylor Joy. Yeah, I always get the both of them mixed up. So Aaron Taylor Johnson has been doing fantastic. Bullet Train, he was incredible. I mean, he seems to be like on the rise again. I think he had like a moment when he was in the Kick-Ass, films, and then he kind of just like trailed off, and then he's back again. And then obviously getting Russell Crowe in there.
That's Dad.
I wasn't. I hadn't kept up on anything with this film, so I had no idea who was even cast in it. So seeing Russell Crowe pop up in the trailer, I was like, "Oh wow, okay, we went there.
Let's go."
Yeah, getting a guy of his prestige is pretty nuts. Aaron Taylor Johnson has just, I mean, he's picked it up. I would say, like for me, like personally, I wasn't such a like I didn't think he was going to be anything fantastic. I thought he'd just be one of those guys, but he's been turning in some performances lately. So to see him in this, to see him all jacked up, like, I mean, boy looks ripped.
He's
And
been ripped, you know what I mean? Like I feel like he's like sneaky physique where why haven't you guys hit this guy up sooner than to do action movies?
So better yet, I guess he just added that extra like thickness, that bulk, because definitely that part where he's like running, I was just like, geez, his arms just looked much larger than normal. Like I think because it looked like he was like when he was running, like everything looked, that's why I was like, oh wow, he just looked more swole right there. Anyway, this isn't about his physique, so
or is it?
Anyway, so because here we go again, we're going off the tracks. I think from what I've seen, like the Red Band trailer, it looks very violent. I'm on board with that. It reminds me of the Logan film, which I personally liked a lot. I mean, I'm not sure where that landed critically. I know that there was kind of mixed feelings on the entire thing, but me personally, I really enjoyed that one because of there's so many times where you think the exact thing that happens in those movies where it's like if some dude has like these claws that cut through damn near everything, you'd see some violent-ish and he'd be tossing bodies around and there'd be a lot of like severing of limbs and all this kind of stuff. So for them to kind of go that far with this one, I believe, what is this, like because Deadpool, Logan, maybe like the fourth film that they're using the rated R shtick on.
I mean, if you take away Blade from the 90s, technically, I guess. But
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, these are technically the few Deadpool, Logan in this one.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that the fact that they're letting it go there, hopefully this is, and we already know Deadpool's coming out with the same rating, so there's that. But I really hope that this continues a trend of movies that will hopefully be done right. I mean, from what I've seen in the trailer, it looks really great.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew the lore of Kraven the Hunter. I know he's a big villain.
Apparently, this is not the same comic book lore in how he gets his powers.
Gotcha, because in this one it looked like he literally just like a drop of lion blood fell
into his blood. It's supposed to be a
blood.
Mutated lion or like a enhanced lion. I don't know.
So obviously, we're talking Spider-Man, but Lion Man essentially is what we're getting because it's just the enhanced lion. Is that your lion? But yeah, so I mean, it looks really cool. Russell Crowe looks like hardcore in it. I think the action looks great. Hopefully, we'll see. His big deal, and I think one thing that is really interesting with all of this is like, where do they like become like haters of Tom Holland Spider-Man? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is one thing, because it does seem like they're not planning to make this a whole Sinister Six type of deal. But
technically, Rhino was in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's why
so
we just me the Rhino.
That's why we just haven't gotten to that point yet. So I'm just so curious where this all ends up landing. Obviously, I mean, it doesn't have to do that. I mean, we've been on, the pod talking about that before. It could just be like this really great standalone film. But yeah, I'm just so curious. Yeah, I know, but I'm just so curious because, like, obviously, like, there's a lot they could do with these actors that they got. I mean, who is it now? Like Michael Keaton's um, Vulture, and then you got this Aaron Taylor Johnson's Kraven the Hunter. You got the
Morbius,
what's his name
Venom,
from Scorpion
technically
from that film,
yeah.
Right? So as they're slowly fleshing out this group, I'm just curious to see what the payoff is, and I do think that Aaron Taylor Johnson. It sucks because I liked his character a lot, even when he was Quicksilver, because I just felt like he needed more time and they didn't really give him a lot of it. I mean, given that he was so fast, maybe that you just didn't get to have the time with him.
I mean, he's so fast that he still
Seems to
gets
make
shot
other people
by...
look not fast.
Oh,
No.
but yeah, I don't know. The weird thing is, like, since my first time seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson was in Kick-Ass, I can't get over the fact that his voice is like higher pitched than like the average man. You know what I mean? If I didn't see those movies, I'd probably be like, oh, he's just an average fella. But it's like you can't keep hearing that like teenage voice of his, and you're like, I feel like Kraven should have been
slowly lowering the register. You know what I mean? Like it's slowly coming back.
I feel like I would have imagined like Jason Statham's voice in Kraven. You know what I mean? Because it's like he's that kind of grizzly guy.
See, even then, saying that now, like they really easily could have had him have like his whole like bullet train accent, because I feel like it matched the voice more.
You mean his actual voice?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
accent.
But like throw that in there where it actually like
I don't know if Kraven's supposed to be Russian though.
See, the thing I was saying with that, and I know we talked about it off pod, why it's weird that he doesn't have the actual comic book accent, but then he would have had the second Russian accent in another Marvel film, which I was like, I wonder if they were like, would that be confusing? Because, the same Russian guy was Quicksilver, and now he is Kraven the Hunter. I don't know.
That's true.
Like, I didn't think about that until we got the confirmation from Jay that was supposed to be his actual accent. So I just wonder if that's part of the reason. And obviously it is a little weird now because both of them were in the other MCU. So I'm just like, are they ever going to explain any of this? Or are they just going to just, like this is all like all these guys just happen to be.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
that's if they really decide to. I mean, there's no, I don't know anything. I don't know anything specifically, but there's a good chance Dad dies in this movie anyway. So it's kind of like a wax kind of on everything.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll find out. I don't foresee them being like, all right, we're going to sign with Marvel again, but we're giving you everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. I love a good action flick now that's rated R. Kind of piques my interest a little more. Especially because you saw from the trailer, and I really hope that's not the worst of it. Like, there should be some pretty intense stuff in this movie, considering he's a hunter. But other than that, I think that will do it for us here on the post-credit segment. Nice, short, and sweet. We did it. Maybe it's because there's only two of us, but we did it.
I was just saying, I was like, it was pretty easy. But even still, it seems like we stretched it out like a tiny bit. But anyway.
But Keoni, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Keoni. That's KAYOHKNEE.
And Jalen? Awesome. And Jared? Right on. And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter,
Somebody has Twitch, MySpace, Jared.
At Nolan KYT, NOLAN KYT. Also give our Instagram page a follow, the Poi and Soy Podcast. We drop reels every week for each segment that we are releasing.
Check us out on Zonga at Poi and Soy Podcast. No,
yeah. Okay, buddy. Other than that, thank you guys for being here, listening to us, giving us some viewership, giving us some support. We appreciate you guys making us a part of your day. Thank you for being a part of ours. From all of us here at Poi and Soy, good vibes and love.
Bang, bang.
Shoots.